Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of our online music series presented by the Dancing Damsels. Due to the pandemic, we are organizing this music series virtually to bring joy to everyone as we stay indoors to keep ourselves and our families safe and healthy. The aim of the monthly series is to provide a platform for upcoming musicians in our community, along with seasoned artists. We hope to expand this program and provide the support needed for our musicians as they have been the hardest hit by the COVID-19 restrictions. Before we move into our program, I'd like to introduce our special guest for tonight, Councillor Gary Crawford. Gary Crawford is currently serving his third term as a Toronto City Councillor for the newly expanded Ward 20. He is recognized as a respected leader and a consensus builder by his councillor colleagues. He has been appointed by council for a second term as budget chair and as a member of the mayor's executive committee. Previous to City Council, Gary served 7 years as a trustee for the Toronto District School Board, supporting students and their families in Scarborough Southwest. His experience included appointments as co-chair of the board, chair of facilities management, and chair of negotiations. Gary is passionate about his Ward 20 community and the city of Toronto. With his leadership, Scarborough Southwest has a visible and important presence at City Hall. Something of note is that our councillor is an artist himself. I've had the pleasure of seeing a lot of his paintings on Facebook. So I guess he is the most appropriate guest tonight to be at this event. Welcome, Councillor Gary Crawford. Please share a few words with us and also the participants. So here we give Councillor Gary Crawford.
Thank you, Mary, so much for the honor and privilege to be here tonight with you. And before I begin, I want to extend a thanks to Dancing Damsels and all the work that you do tirelessly week after week, year after year. In many respects, you are part of Scarborough's rich cultural heritage with what you do. So I want to thank you for everything and all the artists here tonight and the program that we're going to be seeing. And as we have, you've mentioned, there have been a lot of challenges to the arts community. The arts community, I think overall, not only in the city, but across Canada, were the first hit when the closing's happening. Will probably be the last a sector that will be opening up. So I recognize some of the challenges that many artists have been facing all across the world. And we as government officials have to recognize that, and we have to support that. So we, along with our provincial and federal partners here in Ontario and Canada and Toronto, have been doing that. But we recognize the challenges that everybody has been facing. And when you look at the arts, as you mentioned, Mary, that I am an artist by profession. Actually, I have two of my paintings just behind me. I'm a little bit of a self advertising, but I recognize the importance of the arts. I recognize the importance of culture, and we need to survive as, and when you're looking at the importance of art and culture in bringing out the best in people, bringing out the best in cultures and cities. And I think that opportunity is before us now, even though we are challenged during COVID. And there are positives and negatives. The fact that we can now sit and meet virtually. You cannot replace the joy of being in an audience when you are listening to music, when you're looking at a dance recital or you're listening to singers. You can't beat that. But I think the opportunity we have before us now in the virtual environment, because we have no choice, is to look at how we can excel, how we can make this platform accessible to more people, not just in Toronto, but as we have international people here listening, which is wonderful. My hope is as we get out of the pandemic, and we will get out of the pandemic, we will survive this. I have no doubt about that, is where we look at that rich cultural history and artistic, creative feel that we all have. How do we look at making life better? How do we look at making our cities and our countries much better? I think there's an opportunity as much as we're struggling now. And then when you look at the sort of the creativity in what we're doing and how we're, we haven't let COVID let us down. And I think that's an important message to hear by the creative community really has to understand. And I think artists are the ones, the creative people are the ones have figured things out. They don't let themselves go down. They don't let this COVID impact them. And we will come through this. So I just want to acknowledge the work that artists and creative people do all across the city, all across the Scarborough, and all across the world. And continue working with your craft, continuing to be creative and recognizing the importance of what you bring. Because I think in these challenging times, we all need a little bit of joy. We all need a little bit of happiness. And to be able to listen to a singer, as we will do tonight, or a musician, or some dancing, whatever it may be, bringing us that joy and that ability to connect is so important, especially in these difficult times. So again, I want to thank you for the invitation tonight. I'm looking forward to the program, as I'm sure everybody is. And I'm seeing a few smiles already, and I think there'll be a lot more smiles later on as we start seeing this program unfold. And I want to congratulate all of you for the work that you've been doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor Carrie Crawford. Thank you so much for the recognition you've given to Dancing Damsels and also all the artists in the community. And like you said, we will definitely get over this. We are a creative community and together we shall overcome. So with that, thank you very much, sir, for your time. Please do stay back and also enjoy the presentation with us. We have a wonderful group of musicians today, ladies and gentlemen, who are going to entertain you tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to give you to the able hands of our director, Dr. Soni Rajan, who is going to take over. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Soni, over to you.
A very good evening to all. I welcome you all again to Dancing Damsels International Online Music Series for March 2021. My role here today is to introduce you all to our lovely host for tonight's program of entertainment, Mrs. Kalaa Chokkalingam. This is not Mrs. Kalaa's first rodeo. She has been a live show host with TVI since 2012. She was one of the anchors for the live Canadian Tamil news YouTube program, Good Evening Canada. Kalaa has also hosted and emceed multiple cultural events hosted by various organizations in and around Toronto. At this juncture, I also take privilege in saying that Mrs. Kalaa Chokkalingam belongs to one of the revered professions at this time. She is working as an occupational therapist at the Sunnybrook St. John's Rehab Center for more than a decade. Our dear Emcee will now take over the proceedings for tonight's musical show, filled with brilliantly talented professional musicians. This event is also live on Facebook on the Dancing Damsels webpage, and I urge you all to tell your friends and family to please log in, enjoy, and support us all. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Soni. It's been a privilege being with DD for the longest time now. Well, I've been in Canada for almost 20 years and I've known Mary Ashok for that long. And she's always been so passionate about art and getting the community organized and to see the growth from being that organized person, being the trippy person around for most of the organizations to now growing DD to be what it is, to be one of those proud organizations, to bring so many new faces, introduce such novel events. It's just so much more of a proud moment for me. And again, I've grown with her, seeing those organizations, taking inspirations from her, be it dance, being organized, skills, everything for that matter. So I'm very, very, very privileged to be part of this series as well. And of course, music is one of those things that we all share, something that we all listen as part of our life. And I'm sure it's one of those things that takes us through this really difficult time. Being a healthcare worker and being in the front line, stress is, I guess it's word for everybody, but it's day in and day out. And it's been that for about a year now. So I'm sure every one of us will agree that music has helped us go through the stress with a little bit of a smile. And having shows like these, having events like these, doesn't only give us the opportunity to join hands and look at the world in a positive note, but also support each other in many ways and engage in so much more talent and so much more love. And so again, I'm very privileged to be the MC today to introduce each and every talent that will be singing and performing from across the world. And I still can't believe how this is even possible these days. You know, moving from one country to another has always been a big deal. back in the day. But now today, we all join hands from such different countries with so much, so effortlessly, to be frank. And again, I'm so happy and so proud to be part of this. Okay, so that being said, let me start off with the first performer for today. It's Mr. Siva. He is an independent artist. Well, even the name that I have on my paper says Flute Siva. So he's completely engaged with one of the difficult instruments I see being played. I have no idea how a breath of fresh air through a bamboo stick can make such a beautiful musical note. It still fascinates me by that. But here we have Mr. Flute Siva. He's an independent artist from Ottawa, and he's a Silver Award-winning YouTuber with 210,000 subscribers. That's a huge number. For sure, that means a lot of hard work, a lot of beautiful productions, and beautiful music. And we can't wait to hear you. And he has about 28 million views. Again, it says 28 plus million views. So I'm sure it's still counting and adding by the minute. And again, all the best with all your endeavors and your beautiful music. And here we are waiting to hear your music as well. So the first song that he'll be playing for us is one of my favorite songs. Growing up, I think I fell in love with this song just like that with most of our friends. And it's a song that brought love and music together, that showed love in a very different tone. Enai Thalata Varuvala from Kadalukku Mariyadai. Again, it just brings back so many memories. So I'm passing on the stage to Mr. Siva to again just give us the music of love. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. you.
Oh my God. It's been so many years, but this music just brings back such beautiful memories. Thank you so much, Mr. Shiva, for playing that song with so much passion and love. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So I think it's time to introduce my next performer, Sangeetha R. Well, I'm proud again to say she's from GTA, from Toronto, from our nick of the town. She's been here for almost 10 years, and she's the winner of Panorama Idol and CMR Star Fest. And she's a fabulous Carnatic musician, and she loves teaching kids. I can definitely hear that from so many people. Teaching music to kids is one of those rewarding moments to see them perform and go ahead. And I'm sure Sangeetha also loves that. And to hear that part of her, part of her life, it's just beautiful. And again, performing for 10 years, I'm sure she has fabulous experiences. And so the next song we're going to hear is from Sangeetha. And it's a song, again, that I like, one of those melodious songs from Haris Jairaj's music. So here, I'm just passing on the stage next to Sangeetha for that beautiful song.
பூவின் மொழி கேட்டுக்கொண்டு காற்றே நல் வார்த்தை சொல்லு குளிர் வார்த்தை சொன்னால் குடியோடு வாழ்வேன் என்னை தாண்டி போனால் நான் விடுவேன் மண்ணில் வேண்ட பின்னும் மன்றாடுவேன் பூவே வாய் பேசும்போது காற்றே ஓடாதே பூவின் மொழி கேட்டுக்கொண்டு காற்றே நல் வார்த்தை சொல்லு குளிர் வார்த்தை சொன்னால் கொடியோடு வாழ்வேன் என்னை தாண்டி போனால் நான் விடுவேன் மண்ணில் விழுந்த பின்னும் மன்றாடுவேன் பூக்களை தொடுத்து உடுத்திருப்பேன் அன்பு உன்னதை புரிந்தால் கலைந்திருப்பேன் அன்பு பூக்களை தொடுத்து உடுத்திருப்பேன் அன்பு உன்னதை புரிந்தால் கலைந்திருப்பேன் அன்பு காதல நாளுக்கு காத்திருப்பேன் கை கிட்டும் தூரத்தில் பூத்திருப்பேன் உன் சுவாச பாதையில் நான் சுற்றி திரிகுவேன் உன் சுவாச பாதையில் நான் சுற்றி திரிகுவேன் என் மௌனம் இன்னுமே போட்டை உழைக்கிறாய் என்ன சொல்வேன் பூவே வாய் பேசும்போது காற்றே ஓடாதே பூவின் மொழி கேட்டுக்கொண்டு காற்றே நல் வார்த்தை சொல்லு சென்றுவிடு உன் நெஞ்சுக்குள்ளே என்னை புதைத்துவிடு உன் நினைவு தோன்றினால் துளி நீர சிந்திடு என் நினைவு தோன்றினால் துளி நீர சிந்திடு அடிநூறு காவியம் சொல்லி தோற்றது இன்று நீ சொல்வது பூவே வாய் பேசும்போது காற்றே ஓடாதே நில்லு. பூவின் மொழி கேட்டுக்கொண்டு காற்றே நல் வார்த்தை சொல்லு குளிர் வார்த்தை சொன்னால் கொடியோடு வாழ்வேன் என்னை தாண்டி போனால் நான் விழுவேன் மண்ணில் விழுந்த பின்னும் மன்றாடுவேன் மன்றாடுவேன் Thank you.
Beautiful. Again, thanks a lot, Sangeetha. What a fabulous voice. Thanks a lot. I'm sure the kids learning from you would enjoy every bit of the time they spend with you and learn really the expertise of singing. Thanks again, Sangeetha. So the next performer, we're going to go to the next, how do I say, to move on to internationally, I would say, because we've been hearing Tamil songs. The next would be a beautiful musical piece, and it will be performed by Alexander Panizza. He's an acclaimed Canadian-Argentinian pianist, and his musical education expands through so many different countries. And as I was reading this, I was just fascinated, just thinking of all these countries in my brain, given the fact that we can't travel. So I can only imagine how beautiful that would have been to travel in these countries and perform and learn. So his education again is from Toronto, from Argentina, Geneva, Paris, Barcelona, and London. He's completed a postgraduate diploma at the Royal College of Music. So he plays the piano, and again, he's performed in over 25 countries worldwide. Again, traveling those countries, learning from such vast cultures and performing to that culture would have been a fabulous experience. And I'm so happy and privileged to hear him at this stage. I'm sure it's a privilege for each and one of us listening today. And he is also a faculty member at the Catholic University in Argentina. And he also led master classes at University of Toronto, Lynn University, and other higher education institutes here in the Americas, Europe, and Asia. Again, we are so privileged to hear him. And he's going to be playing one of my favorites, I would say. And from a personal note, my son's also learning the keyboard, the piano, and I just love when he plays the Beethoven, no matter what piece it is. It's one of those music that just takes you to that era of music. So thanks a lot, Mr. Alexander, and we can't wait to hear you.
Thank you very much. Good evening to everybody, or good morning as well. From what I understand.
Wow, that's concert level music. Thanks a lot, Mr. Alexander, for just showering us with that beautiful music. Thanks a ton. It's just fabulous the way you've set your camera. It's just, it's just beautiful to see your hand just dance on those keys, and it's just running from left to right. I have no idea how you do that, but fabulous. Again, thanks a lot. A round of applause for you.
Neither do I, but thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, now it's time for me to introduce you to the next singer. When I was reading his bio, again, I was just taken aback by what he does. I would say he is an interventional cardiologist, Mr. Satish Sivasankaran. It's just great to see how having such a busy work and being in music, it just inspires so much more, because again, as a mother of two, I try to push my kids towards the arts, though of course studying is important, sports is important. I just want them to, try and see what art is like. Again, it gives you a fabulous way of getting that stress out, and just to see how being in such a busy job, an interventional cardiologist in Tampa, Florida, Mr. Satish Sivasankaran, Dr. Satish Sivasankaran, I should say, takes the time to try out and just practice music and pursue such a beautiful art form. I'm inspired again, Dr. Sivasankaran over here, and he's an avid gardener. So again, to see how vast his repertoire is, it's just beautiful. So I see that he's a cardiologist, he's a gardener, and he sings. I'm sure you've covered all possible bases out there. So he performs at so many different cultural events. And as I said, he lives in the sunny Florida with his wife and two boys. We are very, very privileged to hear you today. Again, he'll be singing one of, my favorite songs. Just to relate to the song, it's the song that my so much so not music fluent husband would sing to my little boy when he was born. I have no idea how my little boy still slept to that song with his crazy voice. I'm sure that's the beauty of the song. No matter who sings, it's beautiful. But to hear from someone who is so trained in music, it'll take the song to the next level. So we can't wait to hear you perform Kanne Kalaimane from Undandran. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you for the introduction. I also have another achievement. I happen to have the honor of being Mary's classmate.
Whoa, okay, that takes you to another level. Now you have all my greatness and all my salute. To be frank, that tells me how good you would be in art, knowing Mary. I'm sure you share the same passion. Thanks a lot for sharing that info with us. And I'm just so happy to hear that as an achievement. I don't know what that means, but fabulous. Okay, here we go. Kanne Kalaimane.
கலைமானே கண்ணிமயில் என்ன கண்டேன் உன்னை நானே கண்ணே கலைமானே கண்ணிமயில் என்ன கண்டேன் உன்னை நானே அந்திப்பகல் உன்னை நான் பார்க்கிறேன் ஆண்டவனை இதைதான் கேட்கிறேன் ராரிராரு ஓராரிரோ கண்ணே கலைமானே கண்ணிமயில் என்ன கண்டேன் உன்னை நானே. பாடும் ஆனந்த குயில் பேடு. ஏனோ தெய்வம் சதி செய்தது, பேதை போல விதி செய்தது. கண்ணே கலைமானே கண்ணிமயிலென கண்டேன் உன்னை நானே. அந்திப்பகல் உன்னை நான் பார்க்கிறேன், ஆண்டவனை இதைதான் கேட்கிறேன். ராரிராரோ ஓராரிரோ, ராரிராரோ ஓராரிரோ. காதல் கொண்டேன் கனவினை வளர்த்தேன், கண்மணி உனை நான் கருத்தினில் நிறைத்தேன். உனக்கே உயிரானேன் என்னாலும் என்னை நீ மறவாதே. நீ இல்லாமல் எது நிம்மதி, நீதான் என்னும் என் சந்நிதி. கண்ணே கலைமானே கண்ணிமயிலென கண்டேன் உன்னை நானே. அந்திப்பகல் உன்னை நான் பார்க்கிறேன், ஆண்டவனை இதைதான் கேட்கிறேன். ராரிராரோ ஓராரிரோ, ராரிராரோ ஓராரிரோ, ராரிராரோ ஓராரிரோ, ராரிராரோ ஓராரிரோ.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. Thanks again, Dr. Satish. I wish this was the last song for the evening. Then I would have just gone to bed and slept straight and sound for the night. But anyways, it just made me so much more. It's such a warm song, and to hear it in your voice was beautiful. Thanks again. So next, I'm going to be introducing Mrs. Vijayalakshmi. She's joining us from India, which means she's just waking up. We're all ready to be going to bed. So we were ready to listen to this song and go to bed. Hopefully, listening to this song, Vijayalakshmi, you haven't slept yet. She is from Mumbai. She was born and brought up in Mumbai. From the age of 7, she's been singing and dancing. She's been dancing Kathak, and she learned the Hindustani music, and she's performed at various well-known auditoriums in India, in Mumbai. And she's been around the world for 39 years. So she lived abroad. She's been living abroad for about 39 years, which means, again, same idea. You get so many cultural lessons from being away and being with that many people. I'm sure all that shows in your art as well, Mrs. Vijayalakshmi. So next song, again, it's one of those songs that just brings back memories. It's an older song for sure. So it just fascinates. Again, music is one of those things that never ages. So when you listen to these songs, it's just beautiful to see how people from every generation will relate to it and have memories along with that music. And to hear it being performed live in a different voice, it just takes you to that those memories. And again, you make new memories as you hear these songs. So I'm passing it off to Vijayalakshmi for that beautiful song.